Mrs. Frith, Miss Rudd, and Miss Wood with me this afternoon. So we're going to work through the presentation. If at any point anyone has any questions, feel free to go ahead and just send a private message to Miss Wood in the chat. And then at the end, we'll take a chance and take a look at that and see if we have any questions to go through, and we'll go from there. All right, so to start off, we want to talk, this is kind of your big overview of everything having to do with 10th grade, the kind of things that you should be thinking about, talking about. And this also kicks off our individual ACP, which stands for Academic Career Plan meetings. So every counselor will meet individually with their students on their caseload to review and update that ACP, that plan that you already worked out and initiated, created, started with your counselor last year. So during your individual meeting, your counselor will go over obviously your current grades and how you're doing right now in your current classes, how everything's going so far this year, but then also looking at graduation progress, obviously your credits earned last year, any SOLs that you had last year, moving forward, looking at if your standard diploma or an advanced studies diploma, kind of talking through the credits and testing requirements that you'll still have to reach your goals as far as diploma type goes. And then looking more specifically at your ACP, also reviewing your plans for after high school that you already discussed last year and kind of mapped out. But keep in mind that ACP is a work in progress. So that is something that we tweak and adjust each and every year. So looking at that plan and adjusting accordingly. And then also looking at your course selections. So talking primarily, obviously looking at 11th and 12th grade year to kind of narrow in, especially on 11th grade year, the idea of having the ACP updated and completed is so that then when it comes time for registration in March, you have this document that you've already met with your counselor this year and updated to then refer back to and kind of work off of to register for classes. So one thing that we want to point out and kind of have you keep in mind, especially just because of this year with everything going on with our restrictions and COVID and whatnot, for those that are fully virtual at home, we would please stress that you keep an eye on your school email. Your counselor will be reaching out to you to get this individual ACP meeting scheduled, but we need you to see that email and respond to that email so that we can do that. So obviously our blended students, we're gonna do our best to catch you in the building while you're in school on the two days of the week that you're here. But then especially those virtual students that we need to link up with you at home, we will meet via Google Meet, so we can take care of that invite and kind of coordinating a day and a time via email. So if you can just make sure that you're keeping an eye on that, that would be helpful. Move forward, and I'm going to pass it over to Miss Diaz-Norman now, and she's going to talk a little bit about graduation requirements.
Hi guys, so just to build off on what Ms. Smith said, we're going to talk about all of these different things and go over your specific profile with you during your ACP meeting. But I just wanted to go over a few different things and the differences between a standard and an advanced diploma. So for the graduation requirements for a standard diploma, you need 4 English credits. And then the difference between a standard credit and a verified credit is that a standard credit is just passing the course, and a verified credit is also having the SOL exam and receiving a passing score on that. So for English, you need 4 standard credits and 2 verified credits. For math, for the standard diploma, you need 3 math credits and then 1 verified credit. For science, it's also 3 science credits and 1 verified, so that's 1 SOL. And then the same thing goes for history, 3 standard credits and 1 verified credit. For health and PE, you need 2 years of that. Typically students take that in 9th and 10th grade. And then you also need an EPF, which stands for Economics and Personal Finance. You need 1 credit for that, and students typically take that in 11th grade. You also need 2 fine arts or CTE or foreign language credits. It could be either one of those areas. And then you have room for elective credits, which could be of your choosing. And when you meet with your counselor will go over the electives that you're interested in taking and the requirements for those, if there are any prerequisites. That totals up to at least 22 credits. So that is the minimum, right? Typically students will graduate with more than 22 credits. You also need sequential electives, which are electives that kind of build off of one and then the other. So maybe an intro class and then the next level. And then you also need a CTE credentialing exam, and most students will satisfy that with the WISE exam, which is as a part of the economics and personal finance class that you take typically in 11th grade. Also for your cohort, for our current 10th graders, you can also satisfy that requirement with either an honors or an AP class, just so you know, but typically you need the CTE credential exam. Okay, and now for the difference between a standard diploma and an advanced diploma. For the advanced diploma, you need more courses, more credits for that. So that would be in your English class, you need, in English, you need 4 of those. For the standard, you needed 3. I'm sorry, for standard, you still need 4 English credits, but the difference is math and science. So for math, you need 4 standard credits, and then for science, you need 4 as well. So that's the difference for the advanced diploma. You also need foreign language, you need 3 years of that. And then for health and PE, you need 2. You also still need the economics and personal finance credit, and then 1 fine arts and CTE credit or CTE. And then for electives, you need 3 total elective credits. So that totals up to 26. You also still need the sequential electives and the CTE credentialing exam or the honors or AP course for your cohort. And like I said, this is the minimum. Students will typically graduate with more than 26 credits for the advanced diploma. And then just so you know, that we want to go over, when we have your ACP, we'll go over where you currently stand, so just things to keep in mind. You need total 11 credits to move on to 11th grade, with 6 of them being core credits. So those core credits would mean English, math, science, history, foreign language, and PE. So just so you know, these are things that you need in order to move on to the next grade. When you meet with your counselor, they'll discuss your specific situation and information about if you would potentially be retained, but they'll go over that with you. And then in terms of athletic eligibility, just so you know, you need to pass 3 out of 4 classes a semester prior to being eligible to play. For winter sports, January semester change is crucial. So just keep that in mind. You must be eligible the first semester to try out and start playing, but you might then become ineligible once we switch over to second semester due to first semester final grades. Okay, and then you also need to be enrolled in at least 3 classes during the time that you're going to be playing a winter sport.
Okay, so, oh, go ahead. Is it?
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, I'm gonna pass it on.
Oh, sorry, I jumped the gun, got too excited. Okay, so I'm just gonna talk a little bit about your GPA. As you can kind of see, based on different courses that you take, your GPA is a little bit different. It's fluctuated based on whether or not it's weighted or unweighted. And that again is based on the courses that you take. So just a general overview, all of the courses that you're taking throughout your time in high school go into your high school GPA. So if you get a D+ in your freshman math course, that doesn't go away your senior year. So just keep in mind that these are things that you're going to want to really challenge yourself in your courses and do well in, get those grades up, because this GPA will be what you're applying to colleges with if you choose that route. Or if you're applying for a job, sometimes they do ask for your credit history or your course load from high school. So make sure that you're taking your courses very seriously and you're understanding that all of your courses, even now in sophomore year, play into your overall GPA in high school. So this is just a brief overview of some colleges in Virginia. They're, some of the main colleges that you've probably heard of: University of Virginia, Virginia Tech. The bottom one there is Shenandoah University. So this is not a set in stone. I'll talk a little bit more later about what colleges look for if you're choosing that path. But colleges are not just looking for a GPA, they're looking for other things, but this is a good gauge for you to kind of understand where you're going to fall or where you want to fall your senior year. So for example, someone with a 3.5 GPA might have a target school of George Mason University, meaning that they're confident they can get in. And then if you have that 3.5 GPA, you might want to look at Virginia Tech as your reach schools. So meaning that you might not get in, but you're going to try. So just to kind of give you a brief overview as to what colleges are looking for grade point average wise, and where you might be standing right now. So definitely give yourself that push to do a little bit better.
All right, so when we meet with you guys individually and we update your 4-year plan, this is meant to help you with your registration, which will happen in March. So when we meet now, we're just planning, but then in March, you guys will go in, actually click the buttons for the classes that you want to have on your schedule next year. And we just really encourage you to take your time, make sure you know what classes you're picking, answer any questions at that point, because class changes are pretty hard to come by now. So what you register for in March is most likely going to be on your schedule come the fall. So make sure you just take the process very seriously and make sure you're happy with what you choose, especially before you leave for summer and we start making schedules for the fall. So electives, we have a ton of electives. These are just some that are options for you guys. A lot of these are intro level electives. So we do have some more advanced levels that you might be eligible for based on what you've already taken. So we do want you to kind of have some idea when you come into your meeting with your counselor of what you're interested in, what activities you like, what kind of job you want to have in the future. And we can help you pick electives that will help you get there and help you reach your goals. Okay, next one. So some different levels of classes that we have. So dual enrollment classes. These are the classes through which you can get college credit for. This means you're dually enrolled at Eastern View and at Germanna. Or sometimes it could be a different community college for a specific program you're in. So for example, if you take a dual enrollment culinary arts class, that's through J. Sargent Reynolds Community College. If you take dual enrollment Teachers for Tomorrow, that's through Shenandoah. So it's going to vary, but most of our academic classes will be done through Germanna. These credits are usually transferable to a 4-year school, which means they'll already accept the class that you've done, not make you retake a college level English, for example, when you get there. However, that's not going to be a guarantee. It is likely, but we're never going to guarantee and say the college will definitely take that. That's something you're going to want to check into each college for individually, maybe before you make the choice to load up on all of the dual enrollment classes. They are weighted on the 5.0 scale for your GPA. So for example, if you get a 5 in your dual enrollment class, that's 5 points towards your GPA. So it really can help boost your GPA if you do well in these classes. To qualify for the classes, you will have to take a placement test. This is called the Virginia Placement Test, or VPT for short. There's an English part and math part that you might have to take just to show that you're eligible and you're ready for the college level classes. And that's something that you can make sure your counselor knows when you're talking with them and they can tell you need a test. You can also have qualifying SAT or ACT scores too. So depending on if you meet the qualifications that way, you may not have to take the placement test. So there is a cost, oh, sorry, can you go back? Thank you. So there is a cost associated with dual enrollment classes. So you'll have to pay a little bit out of pocket this year. For a typical class, it's $238.50 for an academic class through Germanna's dual enrollment. Culinary, there's no cost, and Teachers for Tomorrow, I can't see if there's a cost for that one. But something to consider, you do have to pay. It's much cheaper than if you were to do these classes at a 4-year college for sure. So it's a great option to save some money, but also something to be mindful of when you're making your class decisions. Some 11th and 12th grade dual enrollment options that we typically have include English, US history, American Civil War, Spanish, culinary, teachers for tomorrow. And this does vary. It just depends on the interest we have from students, if we have people on staff to teach and things like that. But go ahead and sign up for what you're interested in, and hopefully we can get that on your schedule. All right. Advanced placement classes. These are also more difficult college level classes. These are classes that colleges like to see on your transcript, as well as dual enrollment classes. They want to see that you're challenging yourself and getting ready for college. Once you sign up for these classes, though, you have to commit. So again, like I said, we don't do any scheduled changes, so we can't have you switch out of an AP class partway through. So make sure you're ready for that level when you sign up for the class in March. Some do have a summer assignment, so something to, again, be mindful of when you're signing up. If you have signed up for a class that has a summer assignment and then you come back to school in August and didn't do your summer assignment, that's not going to be a reason we'll change your class for you. So these are college level work, so maybe a little more difficult than some classes than you've taken before. And there is an AP exam that you have the option to take for your AP classes. So this is how you're awarded the college credit for these. So if your score on the AP test is high enough, your college can choose to accept that transfer credit, and then you will not have to take that class again in college. So you do have to pay for the AP test as well, if you choose to take it. So it's this year it's $94 per test. So again, it's a cost to think about, but certainly much cheaper than paying full tuition at a four-year university. And just another reminder, this is all stuff we want you guys to think about when you're signing up for classes in March, because we probably won't be able to change your classes once school starts in August. All right. So we have a couple specific programs that we'll go over that you guys could be eligible for. So first up is Germanna Scholars. This is the associate's degree program. This is for 11th and 12th graders. So if you are interested as a current 10th grader, you would be applying at the end of this year, so in the spring. So make sure you listen out for announcements. Check the website and everything. We'll have an info meeting if you're interested in this that you can sign up through Naviance to attend and get some more information and get the application. So definitely, if it's something you're interested in, talk to your counselor during your individual meeting, and we'll go over the steps to help you get there. One important thing to think about is you have to have Algebra 2 done by the end of 10th grade. So if that's already on your schedule now, then great. But if it's not, and you have room for it, you can talk to your counselor and see if we can try to make that happen to make you eligible for that. And the nursing program, this is a program for 12th graders. So you guys wouldn't apply for this until your junior year, again, around in the springtime. But through this program, you'll be completing your first year of Germanna nursing classes during your senior year. You'll get to go out and get some hands-on experience with your clinicals and everything. Upon completion of your senior year, you can sit for your CNA exam, and you can already leave high school with that certification, which is pretty cool. And spring of junior year is how you'll apply. So nothing you need to apply for right now, but maybe make sure you're considering taking some math classes, some higher science classes, if this is something that you are interested in. All right, and again, listen out for announcements. We'll have an info meeting for this too that you can definitely attend, even though you're not going to apply till next year. All right, and I'm going to pass it on.
All right, so we've got a fancy slide here because that's talking about your fancy college app. Oh, just a couple fancy things. So talking about what colleges might be looking for when they're making a decision as to whether or not they're going to admit you. Obviously, like we talked about earlier, they're going to be looking at your GPA. So to see if you really tried your best and excelled in the classes that you took. Something else they might look at are SATs or ACTs. So those are college entrance exams that typically juniors and seniors take. We do offer the PSAT here at Eastern View, which is like the pre-SAT. And so that might be a good opportunity for sophomores and also juniors to take the PSAT so that they can kind of prepare for the real deal. So those scores, sometimes colleges also look at them. Difficulty level of classes. So this is something important because they are going to get something called a school profile from Eastern View, and it basically says all of the courses that Eastern View offers. So they're going to look and see if your student or you as a student decided to take the most challenging courses that Eastern View offers. And if you didn't, they kind of want to know why. And if you did, they want to see how you did and if you really pushed yourself to your limits there. Extracurricular activities. So this could be having a job. This could be babysitting your siblings or taking care of someone in your family. This could be doing sports at Eastern View or involving yourself in a club or activity. So this can look very different for a lot of students. If you want to know how to get more involved, definitely talk to your counselor or myself, and we can kind of give you ideas as to how to get involved in the community or here at Eastern View, but definitely just looking for something outside of your schoolwork that you do. And volunteer work. So if you have volunteer opportunities, colleges love to see you living your passion through volunteer work throughout the community, whether or not that's through your church or through a local nonprofit. Volunteer work always helps a college application because it just shows that you're extending yourself outside of your school environment. Okay, so a little bit about visits that we typically would have in a normal school year, but obviously due to the circumstances, these are postponed. But college rep visits are not. They are virtual for this year. So we actually have small group meetings with college representatives from colleges all across Virginia and maybe even outside of Virginia that you can sign up for this on Naviance. If you need help signing up, ask your counselor or ask myself, or there's a YouTube tutorial video and you can get the information on how to access that through our social media. But that's definitely a great start as sophomore year. You're kind of wondering, where can I start with college? This is where. So get that one-on-one personal interaction with those colleges. Germana field trips. So sophomores typically go on a field trip to the local community college, Germana. And there you can kind of understand what a two-year college is like, if that might be something you're interested in. Obviously on hold for this year, but tentative for next year. Junior year field trip. So definitely let your counselors know where you would like to go for a junior year field trip if that's able to happen. We like to take the juniors to at least, one college campus. So if you have a preference on where that is, please let us know and we will definitely take that into consideration. Military recruiters. If you are interested in going into the military, we do have contact information for military recruiters. Obviously, they're not in the school as they would be in a normal year, but if that's something you're interested in, please reach out to us and we can get you in contact with them. And there's a career expo. So something that you all should definitely look into, whether or not you're thinking about going straight into the workforce or going to college. It's a good opportunity for you to understand what career is the best match and fit for you and what all that entails education-wise or certification-wise. And again, that will most likely be virtual this year. So just be on the lookout, Google Classroom, our social media platforms for information about how some of these events will be taking place. All right, so PSATs, like I said before, this is kind of a preliminary SAT. Eastern View does offer it at free of cost for sophomore students, and then also for $17 for junior students. I would highly encourage, if you're thinking about college in any way, shape, or form, to sign up and take the PSAT. You do receive your scores in December/January, and we do a PSAT score interpretation for you so you can understand what that means. I would also highly consider spending that $17. That cost may fluctuate. Junior year, because if you do get a certain score, PSAT score your junior year, you might qualify for the National Merit Scholarship Program through the College Board PSAT. So if you have more questions about that, you can see your counselor or myself, and we can give you a little bit more details. But definitely utilize the PSAT scores and College Board to study. Khan Academy is a great resource as well. You can do some practice questions, and the library also has resources for the SAT and the PSAT. So definitely utilize them as well.
Hello. So the ASVAB, sorry, I'm having a little difficulty. So you're going to want to take the ASVAB if you're interested in entering a branch of the military. It's not only if you're interested in the military, but it's something that you will need to take if you are going to go into the military. Anybody can take it. It's typically a fall and spring administration, as you see there, and we do offer it through the web, through our school. So you can sign up on our testing webpage on the EVHS website, and we can help you find that if you are unable to. And Ms. Stanton, who is our testing coordinator, can also help answer any questions. If you are not interested in the military, you can still take this. It's not just for the military. You can take it because it helps, it's like an aptitude test, so it can help you look at different occupations that you might be successful in. Naviance student, we use Naviance a lot through high school, so definitely make sure you're paying attention to Naviance. Check it out. If you're not sure how to get in, talk to your counselor. We can help you. You're going to want to check it frequently for assigned tasks. Sometimes we put in surveys or different things that we're looking for to get feedback from you to make sure that we're helping you guys in the way that you guys need help with. You can check your GPA in there. You can sign up for the college visit reps that Ms. Wood was just talking about. That is under sessions, under colleges, and view upcoming visits. She does have lists of scholarships in there that you can check out. You can also look at different schools in there. There's a list, there's somewhere that you could put in colleges that you're interested in applying to. Don't do the colleges that I am applying to. You want to put colleges I'm interested in. That helps you kind of keep track, and you can then look at them, see what you want, and then when you're ready to apply to schools your senior year, you'll already have some in there that you can transfer over then to the colleges I'm applying to. Also in Naviance, check out Road Trip Nation. There's videos made by college students that interview different people throughout the country and their different jobs and different things that they do. So make sure you're definitely checking out Naviance. Explore it. If you haven't gone in it before, please go in and explore it. They have a lot of good information, especially as you're moving forward to your future. And then next is please stay in touch with us. Here is all different kinds that you can do. We have a Facebook page. We have a Twitter account. Ms. Woods has a remind that you can look at their Instagram. So please make sure you're using one of those, or please reach out to us, email us. We'll help you in any way we can.
Okay, so as we wrap things up for today, we just want to remind you of the resources that you do have here. There's a lot of us, and we're here ready to help, willing to help. So obviously you have your principal and your assistant principals, your assigned school counselor. Ms. Stone is our counseling secretary and administrative assistant here in the 1112 House Office and Counseling Department. Mr. Johnson did not join us today, but he is our career coach. So he is also a very good resource to tap into. He works part-time for Germanna and part-time in our school system. We share him with CCHS. So we do have him 2 days a week, but your counselor can help you get in touch with him, but he's available via email. Also on our counseling request form, you can fill out that form and request to see Mr. Johnson, but he can help research different career options. Because he works part-time for Germanna, he's a very good contact when it comes to your community colleges, whether that's Germanna or even other schools as well throughout Virginia. He is very good with FAFSA, as is Ms. Wood. So there's lots of different things that he can kind of help you as we guide through, kind of depending on what your plans are for after high school. Obviously, Ms. Wood, who you've heard from today, our college advisor. Ms. Stanton is our testing coordinator. We also have Ms. Tucker with us this year. She is our counseling intern. So she is one that you might also kind of work with and interact with throughout this year. obviously your parents and your teachers. So you have so much support and so many people around you to kind of help you through the process. So you just need to reach out and let us know as you need help. So as we finish up today, Ms. Wood, did we have any questions come in?
Yeah, we do. I'm going to read out the questions. I'm going to leave this screen up so that you all can check out our social media because that's where you'll find out your best information. So first question was about the PSAT. So that happened already and they missed it. The next one is supposed to be in January. Will EV be hosting it then?
So unfortunately, the PSATs are only hosted here at EV once a year. So every year in October. So there will not be another opportunity to take the PSATs here with Eastern View. So the thing is, though, you can do it as a junior, and we would encourage you to take it as a junior. So whether you're retaking the PSATs for a second time as a junior, or whether you're doing it as your first time as a junior, you're still okay. You're still on track, and that's all right. You could still utilize some of the prep material and review leading up to throughout this year. There's good review material on College Board's website through Khan Academy. There's also review material through Naviance. There's also review material through our school's library. So if you work through the EV library, work with Miss Groves or Miss Carpenter in the library, they can also point you in the right direction through their database as well. So still an opportunity. You just need to make sure you get signed up to do that next year. Typically, you're not going to take the SATs until end of junior year. Most would take spring of junior year and then maybe retake beginning of senior year, depending on how you do the first time around. So there's still plenty of time to do the PSATs fall of junior year and then take the SATs. Okay, there is the math section of the SATs does go up through Algebra 2. So that is one of the reasons why we recommend that kind of timing, because majority of students might not hit Algebra 2 until junior year. There are many that take it prior to that, and therefore you might have some wiggle room and might want to take it sooner so that that kind of math content is fresher in your mind. But those are things that you can also talk through individually with your counselors as well.
Another question was, how can I check my current GPA in Naviance?
So under my profile, it's GPAs in there. So when you meet individually with your counselor could also show you exactly where to click and where to go to in Naviance, but it's under your profile if you want to look ahead of time and try and find it.
And that's the last question. So if anybody has any questions, maybe we'll stick around for a couple more minutes and you can privately send them to me in the chat and we can ask them out loud.
Or if anything, write it down, make a note of it in your phone, and that would be perfect for leading into your individual meeting with your counselor. If you come with some questions in mind, we would love it. All right, so otherwise, thank you everyone so much for joining us today. Have a great evening and stay safe. Thank you.
We got a question. Does our school offer AP Psychology?
Yeah, I was just looking at that. Typically, yes, we do. AP Psychology is something that you can sign up for. All of our classes are always pending registration requests. So it just depends on how many students sign up for a class, also dependent on the teachers that we have to teach those classes. So for certain classes, there's certain certifications required or not. So all of that could always change. So this year, AP Psychology unfortunately was cut due to numbers and whatnot, but not to say that it couldn't run next year. So if you really, really, really want AP Psych to run, sign up for it and get all your friends to sign up for it, and then there's better chances for it to run. Thanks again, guys. Just let your counselor know if you have any more questions. Have a good night.